Hi, I'm theciaellis, and welcome to another edition. Okay. Welcome to Grandma's Homestead. All right, it is time for another weekly update, and yeah. Remember me telling you last time? It's like, oh yeah, I know it gets cold. Everything's gonna be fine, and it gets below freezing, but it's okay. We're not supposed to have it for the next 10 days. And I think 2 days later, it was like 80 degrees outside that day, and that night it dropped down to, I believe it said 26 degrees with a wind chill of 12. And so I had to bring the plants back in, and that's where they are right now. Yep, they're back in here. And the stuff that I had started, the plants I've started did not come up. So, yeah. But at least these guys didn't die. But it is warm again, and I need to put these back outside. And of course, it's windy. Sorry. Well, this is interesting. It's getting warm enough, again, that I was wanting to bring the fan in from out in the barn, but I was cleaning it up, and I had it out here on the front porch to dry off, but I guess Mopar is keeping it from blowing away for me. Interesting. Well, there has been some progress on my big peach tree, and we've even got a few blossoms that are coming in, and I'm sure we're gonna find the same thing on the other peach trees too. So that's pretty cool. I did forget to mention that today is March 4th, and yesterday was my oldest grandson's birthday, and he is 22 on March 2nd. No, excuse me, March 3rd. And happy birthday, Joseph, even when I don't get it right. I'm pretty sure that's a peach tree, but I don't see any blossoms on it at all. And then you get over here to this other peach tree, and you can definitely see some blossoms on it. That's interesting. There's always so much to observe around here. And this is the peach tree that has such a biggered up trunk on it. And I don't know if you can see, but the blossoms are even bigger in some places on this tree. Interesting. Now this is the tree that was all inside. This is a pear tree that Tom was saying it was. And I got a couple little coming up on it on the leaning part, but on the part that's vertical, I'm not seeing anything yet. That's interesting too. And here's my big pear tree, and there are some changes happening on this one now too. Nice. There's that nest again, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of differences in it. Maybe there is, but I get the feeling it's kind of been abandoned or something, but I don't remember me and my memory means nothing. Alright, and this is my, sorry about the wind, boogered up plum tree, and this all looks kind of dead. And this one branch coming off has got all kinds of blossoms and even a little bit of leafing here. That makes me wonder what kind of pruning do we need to take off, cut off there, because the rest of this doesn't look like it's going to have anything happen with it. I'm not sure. This is my one remaining turkey hen. I was trying to get her. She was sitting. She has not laid eggs in quite a while. I really need to either find a home for her or put her on the dinner table, I guess. I feel bad for her being all alone. Her two roommates died in the really bad cold a few weeks ago. Here's Roger. I gave him some grass this morning. He looks like he's already gone through the vast majority of it. And I had to change out his towel because they pee, and it's nasty pee. It's incredible how weird that is. But he seems to be doing okay. I think I'm going to try to do a move with him pretty soon. And the reason is that's the south, and that's where the sun comes in. So now I'm trying to decide where I want to put him. I was trying to get over here around the corner, but out of the wind, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So I was gonna maybe put him up against this. I was thinking about putting him on the front side of the barn, but we got so much crap in front of it that there's nothing I can do there. These two trees were trees that he had bought. Tom had bought a few years ago, and you can see that he never even pulled them out of their buckets, but they are in the ground. They will bloom out pretty soon, so I'm wondering if I should take this and put it on this side for at least he has a shade from that. I don't know. I need to do something different with them though. I don't believe much more has been done in the garden. Tom was going to work on it Saturday, but another more pressing issue came up, and even that kind of fell apart. So I guess I'm going to have to get back out here and start working on the garden myself while he's at work. I need to water these again. But my onion sets don't look too much for wear for that quick deep freeze that we had, and I'm glad for that. Good thing that's the only thing we had in the ground, I guess. Down here where we have the tomato cages, for each of these tomato cages is supposed to be protecting asparagus, and I'm not seeing anything going on there. You can see that the wild garlic is coming up pretty good. It's getting some pretty good height on it. Ooh, look, I do have an asparagus. Woohoo! Do you see it? All right. I hope you can see it. Excellent. Oh, there's another one coming up. My birds desperately need to be moved, and I have not been able to get to that yet, and I'll discuss that with you here in a few minutes. I'm just putting it out there right now since we're down in this part of the field. The elderberry is looking pretty good. I got some more cleared out. I mean, it goes way down there, and I haven't gotten that far yet, but I have gotten quite a bit cleared out on up and through here. Here's one of my apple trees. We're definitely seeing leaves coming up on them. I'm not seeing blossoms, and I'm okay with that. This little bitty apple tree doesn't have hardly any growth on it, but this one has got quite a bit. And this one doesn't have as much. I mean, you can see in some changes, but not a lot. I was looking for blackberry. I know I had seen those leaves last week somewhere, but I'm not seeing any leaves right offhand on the blackberries. I know the wild blackberries, I'll show that here in each minute. I've got some wild blackberries that are starting to leaf out. Looks like my daylily plant is making a comeback for the year. That's cool. Garlic's looking pretty decent. Looks like I need to do some weeding on it. And yeah, my grapes still need some more work. You can't tell from here probably, but row 3, I've actually been doing some pruning on row 3. All the rows need to be pruned, but that's just where I was when I stopped last time. And hopefully I can start little by little getting this place looking a little bit better. We'll see. All right, this is the start of my asparagus beds. I got the tall stuff cut down on them, but I haven't got out here and weeded. But since I found that one, maybe we can see where some others are starting to grow. Man, that's just too cool, because we like asparagus. It stinks, but we like it anyway. It tastes really good. Yeah, I need to get down here and do some weeding and make room for things to grow if it wants to, huh? Not seeing a whole lot yet. Oh, no, here's another one right here. Can we see it? I always put the camera. Yep, right there. All right. Yep, I definitely need to get down here and start weeding and make a room for these things to grow. All right, I had mentioned that Tom had another project come up in the trees. He didn't do any gardening. I spent a lot of money on this thing last year to get it up and running. The only thing is, I have a messed up tire there, and I was unable to find a tire. Tom couldn't fix it, and I was unable to find a tire to replace it, and so I did not buy one. And now my rear tires are dry rotted, so I have a choice. I can either scythe everything by myself, or I told Tom, I said, please teach me to drive the tractor, because I don't know if you noticed on my 3 things I talk about the tractor. Well, he got the tractor running, but apparently there's an issue. This is something that he uses once every 2 or 3 years to work on the driveway, but I want the brush hog attached to it, and he said the PTO drive is rusted and he couldn't fix it. So he spent all day long working on the PTO drive, and we now still do not have a way to mow all this property here, and that's discouraging. In the midst of this meadow pile is a mess of blackberry bushes, and they are starting to green up. So these are wild ones, and this place gets covered with wild blackberry bushes. I do want to talk to you about the pigs, but I'm going to wait until chore time, because there's been a change over there, and it's just easier to talk when they're eating. If you look in the distance, you can see some trees that have white on them. Tom thinks they're wild plums. Some of them might be locust. They have really long thorns on them. I don't know what they are. This is that tree we've been kind of keeping an eye on. Yep, it's definitely little pods or pollen things. So that's actually showing what it is now. And still lots of leaves on the oaks, but you can see we're thinning out a little bit. Oh, Beethoven's after a rabbit. All right, I'm out here with the pigs. We've got Tinkerbell, Crystal, the yellow one, she's Goldie Hawn, and Yoda. And you can tell, poor Yoda, okay, Tinkerbell's little. Yoda is even smaller. And the other two, all four of these are siblings. And I'm even beginning to think that Yoda is deaf. I'm not sure. And then we've got Mom over here that is Waddles. And I have not gotten a mood. And I will talk to you about that here in a few minutes too. But I do want to show you, the reason I'm out here is I want to show you a change. Daisy has been in this pen by herself for several months. And this guy has been trying to get to her for a while, and I finally I had left an opening over there, and they're still not getting along real good, so I'm hoping we don't see anything, but Wilbur is still intact, so I'm planning on having him for my next boar, but he's part of that batch over there. Daisy is registered, Waddles is registered. All of the siblings are able to be registered, but if Wilbur mates with any of those over there, they won't be registered because there's basically incest. But I'm hoping that Daisy and Wilbur get together, and maybe she'll get pregnant. I need to test her. She's the one that had litter last year that was so disastrous where every one of them died. And so if she can get pregnant and have another litter, I want to see how she does. If the next round is disastrous, then she's going to go directly to the freezer. So we've got Wilbur here. He's my boar for her anyway, so hopefully they'll learn to get along and do okay. They're doing okay generally. Every once in a while you'll hear some squealing out here and stuff. Well, partly because he just won't leave her alone. Maybe he'll get better. Well, maybe. So there were a few changes from one week to the next, and I have to admit I like the changes I'm seeing. I'm really excited about the asparagus. That's pretty cool. I did want to talk a little bit about why we have not moved the pigs, and it's my fault. It's kind of weird. Every other surgery I've had, I've been able to bounce right back. Even when I had my knee cleaned out in 2000, I had a torn medial meniscus and several torn ligaments, and I was literally back to work the next day. And any abdominal surgery I had, I had to take a week off, but I was back at work after a week because, well, most of the time I was single and I had to get back to work somehow, some way. And so I'm thinking, am I getting so freaking old that I can't get over a surgery? Because it's been about 3 months, almost 3 months. And I'm doing well. I'm told I'm doing quite well, but I'm not able to, I mean, like when I first get up in the morning, my foot feels pretty decent. I can walk almost without limping, and I'm still working on training myself not to limp. And that's weird. When you limp for so long, it's a habit. And whether you want to limp or not, or think about limping or not, you limp. So I'm trying to train myself not to limp, which helps realign the body a little bit and stuff too. But I digress. As the day wears on and the more I try to get done, the more my foot swells up, the more uncomfortable I am. And by the time I'm done cooking dinner at night, I'm miserable and I'm tired and I hurt and I can't do things. And sometimes I've done it enough where like I'm down for another day or so. So I can only move the pigs with my husband's help on a general basis anyway, and he works. So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that I was able to get Wilbur and Daisy together. Over time, I think they're getting along better. I'm hearing less from them over there. But I'd like to at least get the rest of the family moved to a new paddock, and then I can move Wilbur and Daisy separately, and probably more easily too, I believe. But I need to get them moved. I want them to get the move, and then I need to move the birds, and then I need to go and I've got too many drakes, and I need to get them processed and stuff. There's plenty to do. My foot's just not up for it, so it's kind of a bummer. But, you know, I guess that's life, and I need to just figure it out. All right, that's all I got for you today. I did want to remind you that, okay, of course, you knew I always had the This Grandma's Life podcast. Well, I've started a new podcast. I've only got a couple episodes up, and it can only be on, oh shoot, I can't remember what it is now. It's not on iTunes, and it's not on Google. It's on every other platform except for iTunes and Google, and I cannot figure out how to get them to recognize my RSS feed. So, but my new podcast is Books Highlighted. I read a lot. I love what I read. And when I read, regardless of what kind of book, whether it is fiction or nonfiction or whatever else, I read with a highlighter. And then, so this podcast is basically nothing but me reading highlighted sections of books. And so that's another one of those things that I do that you might not be interested in, but I'm interested in it. But if you are interested, it's kind of cool. So I guess that's all I got for you today. I think part of what I want to tell you too on that is, you know, I'm always telling you to live until you die. Find something to do to get you up off the couch. Find something to do to get the television turned off and stuff. And I'll be perfectly honest, I've been watching way too much television lately, and that's frustrating to me. But I digress again. I tell you about Kinsey Lackey Sports. I tell you about This Grandma's Life podcast. I tell you about Books Highlighted, not to make you feel bad in any way, shape, or form. I'm just telling you, good or bad, whether they make anything of it or not, whatever it is, I'm finding things to do. I have a wide variety of interests. I love life. I enjoy researching things. I enjoy learning things. I love living. And, I mean, I have bad days. I mean, honestly, I've had a lot of trouble with discouragement with my foot, and even the last few days, I think I'm finally getting over it now, but I've had a little touch of depression from it. But you know what? Life goes on, and it's easy to quit life sometimes, but it goes on without you, and then what's the point? And you've lived a whole life that you just wasted because you didn't participate. So participate. Find something to do. And live. God bless. I'll see you next time. Oh, I do have a sunset for you tonight. I don't know how good it is, but I've got one.